Bonsoir! Je m'appelle Billy. _soin_main à la Twitter. Et pour le Army of Snarkness podcast. Parce que... Damn it! Come off like a Belgian. I had a whole thing, savory, where your kids and shit. Damn it, it didn't work. Fuck it. April Fool, we're not in French. Or whatever the fucking hot mess was, you know? I had this whole thing prepared and it didn't fucking work. But April Fool's jokes are for assholes anyway. So why am I not good at them? I don't know! I'm Billy at the _swan_man on Twitter, repping for the Army of Darkness podcast. Download everything on iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher.com. It's not that I'm ill-prepared, it's just when I get into the midst of it and I can't read off a thing, you know, come on. Give a motherfucker a break, baby. Monday, April 1st. Le Premier du Avril. I had a bunch of shit, but no, it didn't work. So, hell with it. How was your weekend? I enjoyed mine. Eat shit and die. No, I didn't. No, I did. It was old school with a pinch of a lot of work. Moving a theater. How do you move a theater? It's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. A guy looked like Dominic Monaghan. That was helping. That was cool. But we got it all did, mostly. I mean, you know, except for some crumbs, but that was more detail-oriented crumb stuff. Anyway, you know. Dumpsters were full, hence we had to move shit. Moving flats, moving bric-a-brac for the theater. For, you know, big set pieces, set building stuff. Props are easy. It's like, sure, yeah, but it's everything else. Tables, chairs, blah, 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 blah. Flats, big pieces of scenery, and light pieces of scenery. Indoors, I was a door guy. And that took up most of my Saturday. Saw G.I. Joe Retaliation. And that movie can go fuck itself up its stupid ass with a big rubber dick. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. The whole thing was, like 3 years ago, G.I. Joe Retaliation was supposed to be a hard reboot of the moderate failure G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Which, why the wordy names all the time? No clue. G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Not a good movie. Very Stephen Sommers-y. But, you know, it had its thing, and it was a guilty pleasure of mine. I enjoyed it for its stupidity. Like, you know, it walked in a bizarre line that a lot of people hate, and I can see why, but I enjoyed it with hopes of greatness to come. You know, you could follow that up with something substantial, and it wouldn't be out of, you know, the realm of possibility. I mean, come on. That could be just the weak beginning of a decent little franchise of nonsense action movies. But no, such is not the case. Again, 3 years ago, they were like, oh, John M. Chu, the director of the Never Say Die documentary and Step Up with Channing Tatum, was brought in to direct over Stephen Sommers, because fuck that guy. Well, little. And so the whole thing was like, he's going to Twitter to see what people want in the movie. Hey fans, heard you didn't like the first one. What can I do to help you with this one? It's like, cool. And there was a lot of good vibe coming off it. There was good buzz. And then The Rock went to WrestleMania to promote said movie, and then the movie didn't come out. Because Magic Mike happened, and the studio did not want this film to compete with Magic Mike, because it also had Channing Tatum. And they realized people liked Channing Tatum, besides the fact that they were going to kill him goodly. That was the big reboot part. Was that they were going to wipe out all the annoying fuck characters from the last one, and start fresh, more or less, with a new cast that they could bring on, maybe start the franchise proper. Such is not the case, my friends. Not the case at all. The whole thing why people wanted Ripcord played by Marlon Wayans dead is because, one, it was played by Marlon Wayans, and two, because fuck it. We want to see him die after that movie. And to a lesser extent, other people that played characters in that. But mostly Marlon Wayans and maybe some Channing Tatum in his pretty face. Although I didn't see the need to kill him so much as just slap his pappy a little. Give his character something to do that wasn't just, you know, what he did before. Cut back on the toy one-liners and stuff. That'd be nice. Maybe not make Duke such a bro about everything. I don't know. I've got a lot of structural issue with how he plays Duke, but it's not that he doesn't look the part, because Duke is an annoying fuckface. In my world, Flint was my dog, my homie. Flint's in this movie, sort of. if you can call that in the movie. The whole thing was they were going to kill off the old squad, bring in The Rock, who was fucking beasting in this movie, hulking machine of doom, and they were going to add Lady J and Flint, and it was going to be crazy. It was going to be all dark and seedy, and the world had turned on the Joes, even though that's kind of what happens in the first one, and they were going to reclaim their name, and Bruce Willis was going to help, and they were going to fuck up Cobra's day and kill the fake president, like in Red with old Bruce Willis. God damn it! And that was going to be, and then lead us to a third one where we're going to yeah, yo, Joe! Shit like that. No, it doesn't happen. Spoiler heavy, I guess. The thing that works in the movie is also the most rushed part. I'm not saying that there are parts where it's like, fuck you, there's nothing in it that makes me want to see it again. There's nothing that sticks out as, you gotta see this scene. Even the ninja scene on the side of the mountain is brief. That's the thing. They make it so tight and to the point, like it's a 70-minute movie or something, but everything's needlessly brief and to the point. Sort of. If there was a point. Like, they cut all that exposition down, they just rush through the rizzes, the soft master, hard master, whatever. They just rush. They add a clip. It's a fucking montage of all this buildup of introducing a new character, Jinx, and having Snake Eyes be in Japan to fuck with Storm Shadow and bring him to Arishikage justice. All of that stuff, everything I just said, happens in about the same amount of time that I just said it. Only with the RZA doing a weird Japanese accent. It's weird. And the reveal, sort of, that Arnold Vosloo faked it, and he was in the temple, and he led astray Storm Shadow, which is canon. It's in the comics or whatever. That's all good, but best parts being the ninjutsu, not nearly enough ninjutsu. It's rushed. For some reason, they just rush right through it. All movie long. It's just like, oh, fuck, we gotta hurry because this movie's gonna end. Just chill out. They kill Duke, and it's lame just because of how they did it. We're just like, he disappears. Oh, no. Damn you, Duke. Like, they didn't even do for a really dumb action movie, they don't even try to do the good dumb parts that make good dumb action movies good and dumb. Like, none of the tropes are played to the effectiveness. Unlike Dredd, where the tropes are there and they use them with fucking efficiency. Dredd, finest action movie in a long damn time. G.I. Joe Retaliation, just another fucking blue balls of a film. Starring The Rock, he gets those. I don't know why. Every time The Rock is cast, like, oh shit, he's gonna fuck something up. And he just sort of he talks stuff, and then he poses a little, and then, another thing, if you see the trailer, you've seen the movie. I can't emphasize that enough. You've seen all the good Rock parts, and you've seen all the good Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes parts, pretty much. The only thing you haven't seen all of would be, pretty much, Jonathan Pryce playing Zartan as the president. I should, clear up, because Arnold Vosloo's technically Zartan, although you never see his face. You see his true Arnold Vosloo-y face, like, twice, sort of, but it's either under makeup or half Jonathan Pryce, half Arnold Vosloo. There's never a point, and he doesn't talk as Arnold Vosloo. Is Arnold Vosloo sick? Did we not want Arnold Vosloo? I don't know. Cobra Commander does a great job of walking in slow motion while shit's going on around him, sort of. There's a hiss tank, one. Gets blown up by The Rock's Bruce Willis baby tank. That's it. One hiss tank. It doesn't even fire back at The Rock. It shoots around The Rock. Like, when we saw that in the trailer where there's the hiss tanks and they're parked outside the White House, you're like, oh, fuck! Finally! No. Much like the Sentinels in X-Men 3, they're just there to say that they put them there. They just built these elaborate props so that you could see it, like, twice and then forget about it later. I don't get that. Firefly. He's Australian. He's Cajun. He's Texan. Ray Stevenson's a British man. What the fuck? He's a classically trained actor, and he just goes from one to the other to the other. And I do not recall Firefly having a distinct accent of any kind, except asshole. Asshole with a head sock. Ray Stevenson looks the part. His costume's rad. He polishes this turd. But his death scene doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about it, and also, he's doing that fucking voice. It's distracting. It takes you out of the thing. Like, why are you talking that way? What is happening? Bruce Willis is a chauvinistic old fuck in Joe Colton that's making jokes that would have fallen flat in the fucking late 80s. Like, why are you being a misogynistic asswipe to Lady J. That's the bulk of his scenes. Also, you know, they do the thing where he has a hidden armory in his kitchen, a lot like Red. This movie's a lot like Red. Everything that Bruce Willis does is a lot like Red, a movie I don't care so much for. Boo. Only, you know, this is pattern for... I don't know what target demo this movie's made for, because it's not enough of a kid's movie, even though it has dumbass fucking dialogue from a kid's movie, referring to everyone by code name and fucking... some of the wacky shit that goes down with this, you know, stasis tubes and all that. Like, it's wacky. Oh my god, it's Storm Shadow, you know. It sounds like the cartoon in parts. But we look at a lot of Adrian Palicki's ass, which is fine, except she's just used like a real doll, more than Olivia Wilde. But in the impotent, bizarre, it's okay in America way. Like, it's good for prudes, but it's also good for perverts, so it's just right. I don't understand. Talk down to her, put her in her place. She has daddy issues. She's a tough woman, but she's gentle on the inside and must fall in love with Flint, although, you know, Lady J does. But my Lady J is more of a hard ass that dresses practically and doesn't play as both CoverGirl and Scarlet and Lady J. Like, she's all three of those combined in this movie. For no good reason. Except they killed CoverGirl in the first one. Like, hard, too, which was awesome. That was one surprise I enjoyed in the first movie. She just gets stabbed right through the datapad. BAM! Fuck you, bitch, dead. I'm like, wow. Shocking for not a children's movie. This was packaged as a teen movie. G.I. Joe Retaliation, I don't know who the hell it's meant for, because there are things that turn me off on both ends of the young and the old spectrum. I am the creamy filling of audience, and both cookies are kind of bullshit. Like, that's an old man joke. That shit's bullshit. And then, that's a kiddie joke. What the hell? Ah! Battleship. Also, if you've seen the trailers, there's a lot of footage that happens in the trailers. Like, the original Sergeant Slaughter is supposed to be in this movie. And it would make sense, because Joe Colton brings along his Senior Citizen Brigade, because that's what fucking old dudes do in movies now! Fucking bring the old gang! That's what they did in Battleship, fuck it! So I've heard, because I'll be damned if I'm watching that. On purpose, except maybe to, like, mock. But I'm doing that right now. Anyway... So I thought, you know, maybe they'd bring real Sergeant Slaughter on with Bruce Willis's team of fogies. Nope. They don't even do anything. He's like, I'm going to bring my team. So he brings all these old Joes that are in their 60s and shit, but you just see them, like, polishing a rocket, driving a Jeep, and then that's it. They never open fire on anyone that I can recollect. They don't do anything. They don't do shit. No one does anything. They shoot the president somehow. Or Jonathan Pryce. Because Bruce Willis gets to change into a boring suit because all the Cobra guys, security guys, are bald and have suits with a distractingly large Cobra lapel pin, because that's not off-putting at all. That's part of the cartoony nature in the bad way. Where, like, the team G.I. Joe has been eliminated. Now time for Cobra to join. Cobra is like, come for seeing The Rock pose, but that's all in the trailer. Watch Jonathan Pryce blow up the world. That's pretty much the part that rocks. Also, this is a universe where both Paris and London have been completely fuck obliterated. And yet, the landscape politically doesn't seem affected in any way. I don't know. Like, seriously, that's half of fuck Europe. Gone! I don't understand. Those are two major capital cities in the quote-unquote cradle of civilization. Poof! Within a span of about 4 years. It's kind of a big deal. Just saying. And yet there's no influence, globally speaking, of any of this. There's no reference to it. G.I. Joe in the first movie was a NATO organization and had a multicultural, team from all around the world, because they were representing the respective... It was all about, global peace. Because it's like the global initiative for something established after the Second World War was the theory. Not so, I guess, in this one. This is just the real American hero, bitch. Which would be fine if they did anything real American and heroic. That's thin, but fuck you. They shoot Arabs. That's the big action set piece in the very beginning for nuclear warheads. That was the Joe as it got, was that they were defeating terrorists for warheads and something was on the line. And after that, no. All just window dressing on top of window dressing on top. All just splash moments. Yeah. There's 5 minutes of the movie that are really good, dispersed within a 90-minute movie. 5 minutes of just like, yeah, it's solid stuff. You could condense this movie, because they have in the trailer, into about I'll give you 10. You can just crunch it down to that. And you wouldn't miss an action sequence. You wouldn't miss, anything out of this world. So, I think it's actually worse than the first one just because it's so slapdash edited. It's edited so badly. They're going across the world and all over the country so quickly and for nothing that it doesn't make sense. We're jumping, day and night and fucking days of the week and everything happening all at once in such a scatterbrained way that it doesn't tell an effective story. And I don't even remember what the story is, except President ordered Joe's killed, or Zartan as President ordered Joe's killed. 3 surviving Joes go to find out Zartan is the president, and then they have to kill him somehow. And in between there, Firefly gets whacked, and Rock shoots a tank battle on the West Coast, while on the East Coast, Bruce Willis and chick that isn't good enough to be his daughter kill the president. Flint does parkour. That's all I got. Never figured Flint for a parkour guy, honestly, but I was willing to accept that. I'm a Flint fan. I was like, you didn't do bad by Flint, but honestly, he was such a bland character. Like, he was by the book and kind of a rogue. Cool. Good for Flint. But then he disappears in the movie. He doesn't come back. It's like, he comes back at the very end to do some parkour stuff while the Rock shoots the big 50 cal briefly to get that one shot. Like, it's all just for images. And that's what's wrong. It's the formula. Fuck this formula. It's stupid ass. John M. Chu eats shit. Yeah, it did a decent box office of $40 million, which is, it's good. Good for March. But I don't think it's going to carry through. Nothing in the hundreds. Oz is great and powerful. Whoop that ass. Because fuck yeah, Sam Raimi. Pretty sure Jurassic Park or The Evil Dead is going to eat G.I. Joe's fucking lunch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will be wrong. But I will have shit to say about Evil Dead after it comes out, so probably next Monday. Unless we get the podcast. I am 3 chords away from being able to record on the, sound thing. But unless somebody wants to throw some cash my way, I can't do that. Because, shit ain't free. But I'm literally 3 chords away from having it all work very nicely. But that's for the Army of Snarkness show. This is Night Drive. I do it, to keep me sane. Monday through Thursday. Sometimes on Friday by chance. Sometimes with the wife on Saturday if we're feeling kinky. And maybe we will this weekend. Be ready for that. Because I will be fresh off of Jurassic Park, and it is WrestleMania week. I didn't touch wrestling as much as I could tonight, because I know I'll be touching all over it later in the week, so. But that's all there is. Fuck G.I. Joe Retaliation up its stupid ass. Looks pretty, but there's nothing behind it. And like women, I don't care if you're pretty if there's nothing behind it. Boom! And I'm married, so that's the thing too. But of course it is. But that's why I'm married who I'm married. Total package. Mwah! And so forth. To stay in good graces. No, but that is all there is. There is no more. We'll get on with some wrestling and some comic books. Like we do. In English this time. My poor attempt at humor did not work. Couldn't even, could hear me think. This is Night Drive. I am Billy at _Swan_man on Twitter. Repping for the Army of Snarkness show. As we say, peace! Oh, no!